And now, thirdly, God sees the truth but waits. This is the supplementary part of the first unit, actually. The third one. Here, if you see the first, if you see the first page of this lesson, you have a warm up area. If you are punished for a prank your classmate played, how would you react to the situation? What is that meaning? When you became a scapegoat for somebody's mistake, then what? How you will feel? Suppose your friend did something wrong in the classroom, and mistakenly teacher is punishing you. Then how you feel? And this is what happened in this story. While many would seek vengeance or feel sorry for themselves, and some may put their trust in God, forgive others for the wrongs done to them, and move on with life. What is your take on this? Discuss. Sometimes people try to take a revenge for what the others have done for themselves, and sometimes they leave everything to the God, and then they continue their life. They go ahead. They don't take the things seriously. So here there are many types of people, and they try to behave in a different manner. Here in this small story, there are two important characters. One actually becomes a prey, becomes a scapegoat for for some other mistake, and finally he gets imprisoned, and he actually live a whole life inside the prison. And finally, just before his death, his innocency, the fact actually gets revealed, and finally, the court gives a judgment that he is innocent. There are two important characters. One is Actionom. In the town of Vladimir lived a merchant. I'm sorry to say, in a small village called Vladimir, a merchant called Dmitry Actiono lives, and he's very handsome as well. And he's a man who becomes a prey in the hands of the judicial system. And this story, God sees the truth but wins, that was actually written by Leo Tolstoy. Let's see that who that Leo Tolstoy is. Leo Tolstoy was a Leo Tolstoy was born on September 9, in 1828 in Tula province, Russia. He is best known for the novel War and Peace, one of the famous works done by him, and Anna Karenina, often cited as pinnacles of realist fiction. He first achieved literary acclaim in his 20s with his semi-autobiographical trilogy, Childhood, Boyhood, and Youth, and uh, Sevastopol sketches based upon his experience in the Crimean War. Tolstoy's fiction included dozens of short stories and several novellas, such as The Death of Ivan Ilitch, Family Happiness, and Haji Murad. He also wrote plays and numerous philosophical essays. Tolstoy died on November 20th, 1910 in Astapova, Russia. All right. So, in the story, Akshino was a handsome member in Vladimir town, and one summer he had a plan actually to go to Disney Fair, but his wife forewarned. He actually wants him to not to go because he had a bad dream actually. But Akshino declined. He did not take her word seriously, so he declined her word and finally commences. He starts his journey. But on the way, he stayed in an inn. Inn means a small hotel actually, with a merchant whom he knew. He goes along with one of his partner, with one of his merchant, a businessman. But the next morning, he moved earlier. He just goes a little earlier. Um, and little later, actually, well, he was resting. A police officer came and enquired him, and finally, Akshino was arrested for murdering his friend. A knife was found in his bag. He goes to the hotel and he spends a night there in the inn. And after in the next morning, he leaves. He leaves little earlier. But what happens when he marches forward? He's getting caught by the cops, by the police, and finally the police does some interrogation, and finally they find a knife. With that, his friend, the merchant who came along with him, got stabbed. Uh, and in prison, he learned to make boots. In all the prison, in all the jails, government never served the food free of cost. To survive inside the jail also, um, whether the criminals are the murderers or whatever it is, but they have to do something, and only then uh, they get food, and even they are getting some meager remuneration for what they have done. I mean, for what they are doing. Sometimes stitching, sometimes uh, what without machines they can do handlooms. Handloom works also they are doing actually for the reasonable remuneration. So when they get released from the jail, that amount is handed over to the person. Maybe that money will be useful for them to go out from the jail and survive. And he behaved gently. This man, Akshino, is a kind of gentleman, and he never fights with anyone. He's a kind-minded person, very kind-minded person. And the jail authorities lied him very much. One day, a gang of new convicts came. Jail is like a busiest place sometimes. When a person goes and stays in the jail, it happens to face so many criminals are coming to the jail, and this is what happened even in the case of Actiono. He sees a new set of criminals just uh, occupying the jail where he is living and where he is imprisoned. One among them was Makar Simoich from Vladimir. So this Makar also from the same town uh, from where Akshano belongs to. He recognizes Akshano. The moment Malas sees the Akshano, he recognizes that he is also from the same place. He asked him to escape from the prison by digging a hole. The moment the Makar enters into the jail as a criminal, he gives an idea to his native person, that is, action out to escape from the jail by making a small hole on the ground. But Actiono refused, and one night Makar confessed that it was he who murdered the merchant and hid the knife in his bag. So the actual criminal, the actual murderer of his friend with whom he hanged out and stayed in the inn is not is none other than the Makar. He accepts, he confesses his mistake. When he confesses his murder, that he was the person who murdered his friend and had the knife in the Actiono's bag. He informed this to the authorities of the jail. But before that action died, see, though they are innocent, though the Actioner is innocent, he lived for years together inside the jail. Somebody did the mistake, but he became a scapegoat. And when we call back our childhood, we can definitely recall some moments when we actually became a scapegoat for the mistake done by our siblings. And we, we might got punished by parents because of that reason. Or sometimes the same kind of experience you too may have inside the classroom. Your friend sitting next to you might have done something wrong, and you might have got caught. So here, the pathetic fact of action is he's nice. He was a nice gentleman. Lived a very simple life, and then he got caught. And he's punished for several years inside the jail. When the reality revealed, when the actual criminal, it was too late because before that he died in the jail itself. So, what is the story from this naughty tale that you have to be very careful? We should not pave a way for any person to become a scapegoat. Despite being alert, sometimes we may get caught. There are many people in jail today, particularly in the state like Kashmir and maybe in some other places also. There are many innocents who were imprisoned. They were caught by the cops 20 to 30 years before, when they were when they were young, they were adolescent. After spending 30 to 35 years inside the jail, finally they are getting released because the department, because the judicial system did not find any strong evidence to prove their crime. So if it is there in the fate of a person, nobody can save these creatures from the threat of this kind. Sometimes you have to even obey the words of the family members. Here, Ashur's wife predicted. She actually seen something bad in the dream, that something bad is going to happen with her husband, and that's why she stopped him to not to go on this particular day, even for the business trip. But he did not take the word seriously. He simply declined his word, and he stepped out of the house along with the merchant who was murdered by another culprit. So sometimes we have to take the words of our family members and our friends as positively. Nothing goes wrong if you are going one day after. If somebody says something that it is not a right time, then you have to take it positively. When you are stubborn, when you are adamant and not ready to change your plan or change your decision, sometimes you may be in a wrong decision and have to face a lot of trouble in life. And here also you have some part which is coming after the lesson, and you have an essay here that will fetch you 5 marks in the examination. You have short answers, 3 marks questions you have, and you have here you have some hyphenated text actually. When you understand the complete story, just by seeing the hyphenated text, you can easily elaborate the hyphenated text into a running paragraph and write the story in a simple manner. So it is very common that the questions from the first unit is always definite. You have to be always thorough with the first unit, with the first prose, poetry, and non-detail always. After this video, I'm going to paste some of the important essays in the WhatsApp, so you can write down those stories in your class note and submit it to me uh, as an assignment. I give you time. Tomorrow is going to be holiday for you. Probably you have no classes on Sunday as per the timetable, so you can make use of Sunday for writing an assignment. It's not like an assignment; it's a class note. Just you have to write the essays of this prose, poetry, and dolly tale. If you write even just once, the entire story and all that message will be remaining in your mind for a long time. So, writing once is equivalent to reading 100 times. It is a saying. So, just write your essay, write the essays once in your class note, and before that, go through the text, because text will give you each and every information. I might have missed a lot of information in this brief video, but if you read the text, you'll understand everything uh, from the beginning to the end. So sit in the morning time when you feel free and comfortable, and read between the text. And then after, when you come to a kind of when you feel a feeling of contentment that you have understood the prose, poetry, and narrative, completely, then you go and write the essay in your class note, and that has to be done by hook or crook, and that should be sent to my personal mobile number, either uh, yeah, in a WhatsApp. My personal WhatsApp number is 8825970621. I repeat once again, 8825970621. You just send all these photo snaps after writing in your class note to me, along with your name, your class and section details, so I can make a record of those people who are responding to me and who are active in this WhatsApp group. So you cannot escape from your obligations. You have to do your work, and nobody will come and do your work. You have to do by yourself. So um, don't do outsourcing. If your sister or brother write at home, don't go and ask them to write on behalf of you. If you write, that will become a kind of practice for you. So you have to write in your handwriting and show it to me in your WhatsApp. So in the next class, we shall see the next unit. Probably it's going to be on Saturday next week. And after that, conveniently, I will take some grammatical part as well. So whatever the lesson I'm leaving in this video, that has to be kept as a that has to be kept as a that has to be uh, that has to be like a record. This should be recorded in your class note. Okay, so I'm very thankful for listening to me and using this gold opportunity for the betterment of your future. And let's hope for the best, and inshallah we should pray to have a normal life again. Once all these lockdowns gets over, we will definitely come back and we can be in the classroom like how it was before, and we shall try to learn once again. If needed, we shall recall the same lessons once again in the classroom for the better understanding in detail, inshallah. So pray for yourself and pray for me and pray for all your teachers, and stay home and stay safe. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah.